It was just two lovers sitting in the car, listening to Blonde, falling for each other, thinking orange skies, feeling super childish. No Donald Glover, missed call from my mother, like where you at tonight? Got no alibi. I was all alone with the love of my life. She's got glitter for skin, my radiant beam in the night. I don't need no light to see you shine. It's your golden hour. Oh, you slow down time in your golden It was just two lovers sitting in the car, listening to Blonde, falling for each other, thinking orange skies, feeling super childish. No Donald Glover, missed call from my mother, like where you at tonight? Got no alibi. I was all alone with the love of my life. She's got glitter for skin, my radiant beam in the night. I don't need no light to see you shine. It's your golden hour. Oh, you slow down time in your golden
Damn, that was abruptly. Sounds a bit quiet. Yeah, I was thinking that as well. It's weird. I hope the microphone volume is high enough because it's actually close to clipping. So I hope the microphone volume is okay. If it's not okay, guys, just let me know. But anyways, let's just continue on. Welcome everyone. Welcome to a demo drop stream hosted by On Point Samples. I'm your host VOIDAX. Some of you might know me, some of you don't know me. For those who don't know me, I am a hardstyle producer. I've been in the scene for about, I think about 9 years. Well, I had my first gig 9 years ago. I've been producing for about 5-6 years. And today I'll be reviewing all you guys' demos that you sent in through Discord, through On Point Samples. So without further ado, let's say we get into it. Much better now? Okay, good. Mic's good. Just the track was a bit low. It's weird because like the track was even higher in volume than the microphone itself. So that's all right. It's all right. But first of all, well, you know what? Let's just say welcome to everyone. Welcome to Flexican, Tesco, Frozen Dream. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Point Break, Ditz Kicks, Sven, and Flexican again. EMB Music Official. And welcome everyone for joining in who I haven't named yet. Glad of you to come check the demos out with us. Yeah, usually it's sunny with me. Yeah, that's good. That's why I like went for my sunny outfit. Because I was like, you know what? This is our one sunny day we have today in Holland, which is quite rare apparently this season on. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Do I see Ableton? Yes, you do see Ableton, which is good because I actually switched over to Ableton about, I think, start of this year, I think. Or like, I don't know if it was last year or this year. And I've never been more happy with switching over to Ableton. I've been using Cubase since the very start, then Studio One for a bit as well. But to be fair, like working in Ableton has been doing wonders for me. So yeah, highly recommend it. Sure, it's giving me OCD. I don't know why that is, but I'll remember to pick a different shirt next time. So let's go straight into the demos. First one we got was from Fernux. Am I saying that right? Fernux with Marco Prima. Getting straight into the meat of the demos. So yeah, let's check this out and see what we get. If there's a little bit of background noise from the microphone picking up the music, let me know that as well. I'm checking that out, and I tested it, and it was fine. But if it's not, just let me know, and I'll try to fix that, or I'll just lower the volume of the sound card itself. That's fine too. Let's listen to it.
Marco, prima.
Okay. Okay, so that was VOIDAX with Marco Prima, the extended mix. I couldn't stop looking at chat saying that the stream was a bit soft. Is that correct? There's at least the tracks themselves, because if I listen to it. Is it the sound itself? So the music can be a bit louder. It's weird because it's all the way up. It's weird. It's kind of weird. I can try and boost it a little bit. Could also be because of the fact that. Let's see if this makes a difference. Okay, it makes. I'm pretty sure it makes a difference, right? Don't know if it's a little bit better now. Well, yeah. Okay. It's probably because my it could be because my sound card is naturally on like 37 or like 30 out of 100, because for some reason it's like way too loud when I got my Gen X. Okay. So that's good like that. Okay, good. Okay, that's better. Okay, it's good. It's good. Then I'll just keep my own volume a bit lower. That's fine, but I don't want to blow up my speakers because for some reason it just my volume on my sound card is at like 3%. It's like normal volume at 3%. So I don't know why it is. Can be a little bit louder. Okay. You know what? We'll do like a sound check thing here. The only thing is I hope it's not gonna clip it. You guys beat my sound check, okay? If it's just let me know when it's feasible volume. Okay, good, perfect, okay, perfect, better, okay, bit better. Okay, good. Okay, then it's probably my my sound card. That's a bit low. It's possible it's a bit still. I mean, it depends how many demos we go through and how much time we pass. Because I haven't eaten yet. I'd love to not eat at 12 a.m. So this is a quick troubleshoot and stuff. So we'll just go through the demos. Okay, so we've listened to it a bit. First off, what to say? The thing is, okay, so I'm just gonna not wonder in my head how long you've been producing. It's not as an insult, because I'd like to how do you say that? Not calculate. To judge based upon the years of experience that you have. I would normally do that. And that might have been a good one to do. Like, you know, people that send in demos also, you know, let me know how long they've been producing, just to get a bit of a relative judgment on it. Okay, for instance, like if you've been producing for like 1 month and you make this, then I'll make a different judgment than if you would be making music for 10 years, for instance. But anyways, I'm just gonna listen to it without knowing how many years. Okay, so right off the bat, the one thing I really do like is the fact that you've got rhythm going throughout the whole track, which is good. It's a good foundation for a lot of tracks, based upon what kind of vibe you want to get in your track. The only thing I'm noticing a lot is that okay, so you've got your intro, you know, 13 seconds. Then you've got your kind of like build up, which is I think it's 16 bars. Yeah, 13 bars. Okay, 16 bars. You've got your intro, which is 8 bars, which is like 13 seconds, and you've got your build up, or like your sort of intro break, which is 13 seconds, aka 8 bars, and then your build up, which is 8 bars. My bad. And there's not a lot happening. Like you got a good rhythmic pattern with drums, which is good, but nothing else is happening in the mix, aside from that stabby synth, or that plucky stabby synth, which is good. It's like a lower Sage synth, I assume, which is good. But there's no real how do you say that? The track isn't really evolving from time to time. And the thing is, and this is a tip that Hans Zimmer actually gave, I think, in his masterclass, was that every 8 bars, especially with trailer music, but also in every single genre, you've got an 8-bar loop, and then every 8 bars you want to either introduce a new element, you want to change an element, or you want to remove an element to kind of have it feel more alive in that sense. And that's what I'm kind of missing here. Like, obviously, what you did do is sort of change or add that rhythm that you had with the synth stab to like more of a plucky sound to more of a stab. But nothing else is really happening. That's kind of the thing. Like, there's transitions, like the drums and the snares that introduce the transition to like the build up. That's present, but there's nothing else that kind of signifies transitions. There's nothing that really makes it really stand out in that sense. I don't know if I'm being too serious because it's a Marco Prima track, but that's what I'm trying to do. And then during the build up, that's really fine. Like the last I think it's the last 4 bars. What I would do though is just before the drop, so as a pre-drop, I introduce or make the transition towards the drop a little bit more known. Because the thing is, okay, here's the thing. There's a certain way, a certain formula that people use, and also in hard dance, there's a certain formula that people use, a certain structure, arrangement, that has people subconsciously remember and anticipate a drop. And the way that works is there's certain triggers like snares, like snares in a specific pattern, or like drums in general, or in hardstyle case like the effects kicks that like people like Disturb. I'm not sure if he was the first one who used it, but Disturb uses it a lot, like the really cool effects kicks before a drop, and it's basically like sort of like filtered out. That kind of stuff is a really good trigger for people to have people anticipate the drop, because right now, obviously, if you count, you know, like, okay, there's gonna be a drop here, because I can visually see, obviously, but even if I wouldn't see it, I would know it. But for the day-to-day listeners here, it might come as a bit sudden. And that's kind of, you got your snare here, but like this sound is also really low. That saw synth is a bit low though, and I would introduce it. I would do like this small part right here. I would, like, what you could do, for instance, is make a loop of the vocal and distort it, and then have sort of this like stabby sound, like the standard 1-2 sound. And what I mean by that is like the 1 dun, dun, dun. So it's like, how do you explain that? It's kind of hard to explain that. This is really random. This feels really random to me, like the way this is introduced. So what's a good thing as well is to just reference off of other tracks. So what people sometimes do as well, or what they regularly do, is they take a track like from Disturb or Randy or Adjust or whatever artist you like, and then they drag it into their project, and they place a specific part of that track over their own project, and in that way, you can really reference and analyze how they go about building their tracks and building their build-ups and pre-drops. It's really a vital part, because if you don't reference, it's really important. If you don't reference artists, that's kind of hard to. You're kind of shooting it in the dark. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of artists that probably went into hardstyle without listening to hardstyle, something like that. But it's vital that you reference as many tracks as you can. So try to do that. Try to find an artist that you really enjoy, and then putting a favorite track of theirs under your track, which has a similar build up, a similar pre-drop, drop, whatever you want, and then analyzing it and being like, okay, what does he or she have in their mix? Like, there's drums present, there's like I said, effects kicks are in a specific way, made in a specific way, and even the drops and even the mix down itself. But this is purely on the creative part, not necessarily like the technical part, like the mix down, like, oh, this is like there's like high frequencies missing or something like that. No, this is purely the creative part. And that's the thing too. If you guys are like expecting more technical feedback, I'm trying that as much as I can, but I like to give more creative feedback because that's something that's more of my area, and I'm still working very hard on my own mixdowns, because mixdown is probably one of my weakest points. So don't feel offended if I give certain mixdown feedback and you're like, hey, but that doesn't add up. Like, that's not true. Creative feedback, however, I always love giving. So, like I said as well, throughout the entire track, there's not a lot going on. That's kind of what I'm missing as well. There's like, you have this synth, but that synth is not really present in the mix itself. Like that sound they have, like the stabby sound, I would use that sound. Yeah, and then like sort of make it so that sound comes in every let's see, every bar, every 2 bars, and make a variation on the rhythm. But you can also just use that, like or then you have to drop, like for instance, like that. And then during the second part, you have the full sort of anti-melody stabby synth pattern on this part, so that you sort of, what you want to do is introduce that pattern, but not fully. So you just take that pattern that you have right here, like the stabby pattern, and then you drag and drop it over this part. Then you cut out certain pieces, so you don't already introduce the entire pattern. And then during the second part, you do that. And this adds a lot of variation, and it creates this sort of life in the track, where you don't have the same form, the same structure, the same elements in place at every single 8 bars. Because like I mentioned, you want to have variation every 8 bars. You can do whatever you want within the 8 bars, but every 8 bars afterwards, you want to have something change. If it's like another build up towards the second drop, that's good. If it's like a different kick, even only a different kick is good. But even then, you want to fiddle around with like patterns that you have next to the kick. If it's like a synth, a screech, or whatever, have some variation. That's probably my number one tip that I can give you, is have some more variation, add more life. And it's kind of like a general point of feedback, but like I mentioned the points before, I think that could help you out a lot. Because like I said, like I'm a big fan of like the typical kick drum and hi-hat combo that like a lot of like techno music and bass house music and certain genres like similar genres have that, and I love that. Like I've been into techno. Can't believe I'm saying this, but I've been into certain subgenres of techno recently, and it's always like the really cool like fat kick drum and hi-hat or ride or open hi-hat combo, and I love that because it creates this really nice drive in the track because you're creating this nice rhythmic pattern by doing that. So maybe going way too in depth on this track and seeing I'm already past almost half an hour. So I don't know if I can get to all the tracks now. I'm gonna try as much as I can. But number one point of feedback would be create more variation. The rhythmic part, like I said, good foundation. But add more variation, add more elements. Track feels a little bit empty. Add more elements. But if you ever have like an update on a track, you can always send it to me. And that goes for everyone here, by the way. If you ever have updates, you can obviously like post them in the On Point Samples Discord group, I assume. But what you can do is either send them to me, or you can even like post them in On Point Samples Discord and then tag me. I think it's easier to do it to me. But anyways, just so you know, because I love giving feedback and then getting stuff from people after that feedback and see what they do with it, because it's really important what you do with it. So, gotta look at that. I've only been producing for a small year so far. I mean, that's good. That's good. I mean, honestly, that's good. Like for a year, like you did, like that's actually good. I don't know where I was a year in. Not really far, to be honest. I might have projects I can show you from me producing for a year. But yeah, it's good. Submitted a very special song, End of the World. I love that title. So post-apocalyptic, so dystopic. I love that. I used to do that as well, and then I found out that my tracks weren't matching that vibe. Okay, so let's go to the next track. That was, let's see, because I had it was from yesterday on, wasn't it? Yeah. It was, I think it's like Jan's present. Okay, present. Okay, I can. Cool.
The present.
Oh, by the way, I appreciate if you guys send one demo per submission, because like I said, I might not have enough time, and I'd love to judge or review all your tracks, all your promos, all you guys' promos. So. Sorry for interrupting again. Links would be best. If you have Dropbox links, that would be best. It's fine to download the file as well, but it's easier for me to keep an overview if I had to have Dropbox links. So appreciate that. Okay.
The present.
Okay.
Mystery.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Not necessarily. I wouldn't say bad. Wow. Sorry. It's just. It's a lot. It's a lot. This is also why I love having Dropbox links, so I can just see the waveform. So yeah. Again, if you guys have Dropbox links, you can still like if you sent a file, you can still send the Dropbox link. But yeah. Yeah, I think I read the comments about the triplet, the pattern, and the 4/4 straight beat kick pattern. Yeah, I'm a big fan of experimentation. This isn't really experimentation. This is more matching the patterns in terms of the how do you call that, the well, the rhythmic structural patterns. Man, I'm going way too in depth in this. Simple terms, your synth is in, I think your synth was in triplet. Yeah, your synth was in triplet and your kick is in 4/4 or straight note. I would change that. I probably do the yeah, I changed the synth pattern to a straight note or 4/4. Because that it doesn't really make sense. It's kind of chaotic in that sense. Plus, I heard something here. I swear I heard a. I'm gonna call people out on that. I heard an offbeat clap somewhere. Time signature, yeah. Sorry, thanks, Kid Clowns. Yeah. So the thing I really hear is there's a lot of technicalities that you can improve on, and I want to go in depth on that. But like I said, I'm not the best at that, and I'm seeing comments of people who already are giving their opinion on it, which yeah, you can already get a lot of feedback from. Yeah, the synth is really, I think it's phasing a bit. It's really weird in the mix. It's really I think it's something wrong with the stereo imaging or something like that, because it sounds like a yeah. Don't know what's up with the sound. Maybe you guys know better, because like I said, I'm not a tech nerd in that sense. But let's just go into like the creative part and the arrangement itself. The one thing that I'm really noticing about this track is a lot of things are very random. I don't feel like there's a sort of red line or a universal structure in the track. And like what I mean by that is, like I said, a lot of things are just randomly placed. There's no real coherence. That's the one. There's no real coherence between the elements that are in the track, and that can really break your track. Like if that was like properly or done properly, then it would, already make a big difference. I think you can, obviously look at sound design and stuff, but even only just having everything correlate with each other makes it sound a lot better in general already. So let's just missing a lot of warmth here as well. Because you just have like sub and then the synths, but there's nothing else going on aside from maybe like a sort of pad sound. Sort of like a plucky pad sound or something like that. Yeah, I would definitely add a bit more warmth. Like I said, same here. Yeah, like I said, there's no warmth. You can definitely add like chords or pads, or even boost the frequencies from the elements that you already have to add that warmth, which is like around the low mid frequency range. Same goes for the kick, the main drop. Like I'm really only hearing some like especially the tail, there's sub and there's a bit of low mid, but there's no high frequencies, for instance. Like I can hear no tail. The only thing I'm hearing is like the sub and the low mids of the sub of the tail. And so the thing is, what I would suggest doing here, and maybe you're not a fan of that, I used to not be a fan of that as well in the first couple of years, is sampling. But there's millions of sample packs out there, and by God, it just so happens that On Point Sample has the ultimate hardstyle producer pack, which is available now. I don't know when people get sponsorship. Huh? Nah, they actually do, and that might help you out as well, because it's like presets, the samples, everything. And I think having a core knowledge about where to place everything, rather than making everything yourself, is way more valuable. And the reason for that is because you can obviously learn how to do sound design, but making a full track and making it stand out and making it unique is way more important than being able to make your own sounds. Obviously, you'll learn that on the go, and trust me, you will if you put enough time in it. But the key part is definitely just having a good structure in your track, having a good arrangement, everything making sense, and having obviously high quality sounds, which you can get. Like you can't get like an arrangement or something that you can reference from other tracks and use that, but that's already like sort of taken. And obviously you can use a preset, which means that you're using a preset that's not made by you. That's fine. But I would honestly suggest like taking a look at sample packs, like for instance, like the preset and the sample packs from On Point Sample samples, and just picking out sounds that you like, you know, and even kicks that you like, because like I said, you know, even the kicks, yeah, you can hear there's definitely some work that needs to be done, and obviously this doesn't come overnight, but it's really important to get some experience in building tracks, and having that high quality sound and the high quality presets and everything pre-prepped is easier, because the thing is, what I used to do, which is really annoying, is I used to be so into sound design that I would spend days on weeks making sounds that I swear to God, you're like, you know, 2 weeks into sound design and you made a killer sound. Trust me, maybe you will, but 9 out of 10 cases I didn't even use it. It was just me having fun, you know, with sound designing. And it is fun. Sound design is fun. But to be honest, it's way better to just have the sounds and not be picky and just be like, I like that sound. I don't care if it's a sample or a preset. Just use it. They're for a reason. They're being sold for a reason. Because people made that stuff so other people don't, well, I wouldn't say won't have to make it, but can just go straight into the meat of like making music, which is like building a track. And like I said, that would be advice for you. That would be just using your samples, using your presets, build a track. And yeah, getting more experience on that, and make your own stuff for more signature sound. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree on that, but like I said, I'm not gonna how do you say that, guess how many years of experience you have in the production area, in music production. My take is that it's not a lot, but trust me, it's probably for the best to just start working on the points that I gave you, with like just using presets, just using samples, just to get more experience with building tracks, and then worry about your signature, because you're not going to get a signature in like the first year. It's not going to happen ever. Signature is what you discover when you keep building tracks and eventually find your own identity. There's no real tutorial for that. I mean, I do remember a signature masterclass, but even then, I haven't watched it. I didn't watch it, but I can already tell you, like, yeah, you can learn a lot from it, but a signature and an identity is something that you will discover with years of producing, with years of experience, with years of sound designing and mixing and all that. You will eventually develop your own signature after enough years. So don't worry about that. Just worry about just focus on building tracks and get those presets and sample packs. Sponsored by On Point Samples. So that's the second one. Let's check out the third one, which is, let's see, ID Tonight by Brian. Okay, which is a SoundCloud link. Okay, that's all. SoundCloud links are also fine, by the way. Dropbox links, if Dropbox is possible, SoundCloud links are fine too. So, making sounds and don't use it. Sounds familiar. Yeah, see, I think that's something that pretty much every single producer has, because it's just fun. It's just fun to you know. Maybe I'll drop some sounds afterwards that you guys can use if you want. I've got a bunch of like granular sounds that I've made and I don't do anything with, and even then, like, yeah, it's fun. It's nice to share things with people as well. Oh, I'd love to go back to streaming with sound design as well. Okay, will you be listening to the track I send? I send it before Phoenix's track. Yeah, I listened to it, but it's an up-tempo kick, and I have no experience in up-tempo. So, and I did listen to it, but I have no experience in up-tempo, so I can't really give feedback on that. So, I did listen to it, though. That's fine. I make Rostel now for like 5-6 years. Just found my own thing, own signature. Yeah, it takes time, man. It can take 3 years, it could take 10 years, 20 years. You don't know. Okay, that was ID Tonight by Annette. Kind of like beats the point of like an ID, isn't it? No, it's alright. Yeah, it's like 50 more to go. Yeah, I'm telling you, maybe I'll take a break in between and eat really quick, and then I'll do another round of feedback. But I'd like to give as much in-depth feedback as I can. But I'm already hearing, for instance, with the first two tracks a bit of a pattern, so to speak, on things that you can give feedback on. So, first of all, I'm a big fan of the intro. I love it. I love that dreamy pad. It's very good. Like a lot of reverb. That's good. I love that. I mean, it's right up my alley as well. So, like I mentioned before, with having something different, changing something, removing something, adding something every 8 bars, I'm getting kind of feeling here as well. So you have like your first 8 bars, and then you have, after 8 bars, you have the vocal coming in with like a crash transition. Technically, that's adding an element every 8 bars. But it feels too static because I feel more that, I feel more like at this part, because you're gonna build up to this drop, which is also 8 bars. So you got 2 8 bars, which the first 8 bars basically intro, and then the second 8 bars is already a build up. So if you want that to be a build up in the second 8 bars up until the drop, you want to add kick drums, snares, risers, sweeps up, and instead it's basically the same thing, the same atmosphere with the vocal, and then in the background there's a snare building up. But this is really abrupt. This feels more like after these 8 bars there's going to be some sort of different break, like a melody or something. Even if there was a melody after this, I just introduced that melody with like filtering. But now it's like a drop all of a sudden, which, like I said, really, really, really sudden. So point of feedback I would give on this part is add some tension with a build up, because that's the number one thing with making build ups, adding tension, as in like adding drum patterns that like go faster and faster, like snares and kick drums and hi-hats and whatnot, adding a riser, adding sweeps up, adding maybe some vocal chops, like making a chop out of that vocal, or adding a sound that you're going to use in the mid intro, but instead it's just like the kick, and then with like the the little itty bitties of sound in between, which is fine. You can do that, but there's something that there's a big part that I'm really missing that signifies that coming of the first drop. Damn, it sounded coming of the first drop. That's what I'm missing. One thing I do really like though is the sort of small intermissions or intervals you have with in the mid intro, like the pad that you like put in between the kicks. I love that. It's really cool. I would make it more present though. I would add distortion, saturation, make it stand out a bit more and be more in your face instead of being a pad like you have that right here. But I'm a big fan of that. That's good. That's good. Just it's a little bit like tweaking that you need to do on it. But it's cool. I like that. What I would also do is a lot of automation. If I want a specific part in a track where there's sort of this interval or intermission, I don't know if it's interval, intermission, correct me if I'm wrong. So you have like a kick pattern, and like you have like 1 bar. Yeah, no, so sorry, 2 bars, and then every end of that 2 bars in the last 2 steps, so I have like 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and then the last 2 steps you would introduce the sound, which you're doing. Yeah, or like the last step, I think. Make like more space for that sound. So like put utilities on all the other sounds and just like drag them down, so only that sound's present. You can also have it like fade out, but then the thing is, what I usually want to do when I introduce a sound like that is I want it to have as much space as I can, and then maybe adding like a snare or something, or like a kick drum underneath that sound, and then sidechain it so it's like this ducking effect that you get. That's what I would do, at least. Let's see. Plus the mix itself feels a bit I don't want to say weak because it sounds so negative, but very quiet, less punchy. And that's a combination of like specific elements like the kick and the sounds itself, but a good mixdown can obviously do a lot too, and a good master can also do wonders. So because like this signaling from like the end of the drop towards the break again is more obvious than this, and like the build up towards the drop itself. Just for like frame of reference. Gig is nice, but maybe some introduction of the drop. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, I love that pad. I love the drums as well. The hi-hats, the drums, like the kind of like trap rhythm. Love that. Or like the future bass-ish trap. Same for this. Introductions. Like make it really present that there's gonna be break, a main break, as in where the melody comes in. There's gonna be a drop. There's gonna be a transition from the drop to the break. There's gonna be something's gonna happen. If you want to introduce something, you need to make it clear that it's gonna happen. So if that's with sweeps or with if it's a melody that you have a melody that's getting filtered in or filtered out, like depends how you see it. Where a melody comes in that you like sort of like filter it. You want to make it present. And this is the same that I've had with the first track, I believe, is a lot of the same is happening. And obviously that does create a red line because that pad is present throughout the entire track. So that's your red line. That's your, do you call it? Yeah, that's your red line. The pad, basically. But not a lot is happening outside of that. Same here with the what I mentioned with the previous track with warmth. I'm missing a lot of warmth here. Synth is not too bad, not gonna lie. It's just that you only have sub underneath it. And a bit of the pad, I think, or like chords. Wait, what? Actually, there's a lot of reverb going on. My effects buses have 3 different kinds of reverb, small, medium, and long, together with a very short ghost click which triggers the sidechain. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of reverb going on, but like I mentioned, like that's it. I like the pad, like I mentioned, but I'm missing like I said, I'm also missing a bit of tension in this track as well. It's cool, like tremolo-ish pad in the background, or like fluff. And here as well, this is the same with this build up and this build up. It's really sudden, like the drop comes in really sudden, and like I gave that feedback with the previous track as well. Get some reference tracks of artists that you like, preferably within the hardstyle scene. Grab one of those tracks, do some A-Bing. A-Bing basically means that you listen to track 1, which is like the reference track, and then at the same time you switch tracks to your own project so you can really hear, clearly what they're doing in mixdown, what you're missing or lacking mixdown, or like the specific things that they're doing in build-ups, breaks, drops, etc. And in terms of arrangement, it's also really nice because you can cut out parts that you like from that track and then put them over your own track and then see like, okay, what kind of elements do they have? Like exactly the same feedback I gave with the last tracks regarding that is the same kind of feedback I would give here, is take a reference track, analyze it, and then apply it to your own production and see what you can do to improve. So yeah. Just don't think it goes good through the mix. Well, yeah. But like I said, like the foundation itself is good. Like I mentioned, I love that pad. It's good, especially that that tremolo. I think it's another layer. The like higher layer, which has like a tremolo or LFO tool on it. I like that. It's good. It's good. So keep producing, which is my advice to everyone: is keep producing. Except for me, I'll quit. No. Let's go to the next track because I don't want to take too long. I want to, but I don't want to as well because we'll be out of time before we get to everyone. And I'm pretty sure, damn, that's a lot of demos. Okay. That's a lot of demos. Demos. Okay. Okay, right. Right, we have Unleash the Warrior from Hard Engineers, so let's take a listen.
In the world I live in, I walk between heaven and hell. With no regrets, I find my way to unleash the warrior deep inside me. Unleash the warrior.
Okay, well, that was Unleash the... God damn, fucking fly, man! Ah, sorry. Flies drive me nuts. That was Unleash the Warrior by Hard Engineers. I don't know. Someone said, are you going to listen to the demos based on submission order or listen to the track by people that are in the chat? To be honest, I've no idea out of the 63 people how many people submitted demos. I'm hoping everyone, because it'd be a shame if I gave feedback and that person wasn't in chat. So yeah, I definitely do it based upon who's in the chat and then try to do it in the order that they sent it. But yeah, that's kind of hard to monitor. So I'm just gonna ask. You know what? I'm just gonna ask If I have a track, I'm gonna ask if that person's in chat. If that person's in chat, I'll listen to it, and if it's not the case, then I'll go to the next one. So sound fair, right? Sound fair, right? Yeah. Okay. Good. That's what I thought. Okay. So about the track, it's definitely interesting. Love the vocal. Love the vocal. Vibe's really good. I love that. Love that like organ saw high octave chord with like lots of reverb in it. It's good. It sounds really airy. It sounds really big. Big fan of that. Love to know how you did that. Love to know. Well, I suck at doing stuff like that. But it's cool. It's really sick. Really sick. But like in terms of structure, yeah, it has everything. Like build-ups, very clear. Transitions, really clear. In terms of like elements in every part, I'd say yeah, it's really decent job. And in terms of power, it also has something. That's something I value as well, is if tracks have a certain amount of power in them, especially, and that can be the vocal having power in the voice, which is the case in this, and also having the 1-2 kick drums, which is basically like your boom boom clap moment, which is really really nice. Fits very well with that break. Kicks are good. I love that. It's good vocal, really good vocal. I definitely appreciate the bass drum. That's something I really really like as well. Yeah, it's really good. Very cool. Like really solid build up. You know exactly what's going on. You know exactly what's going to happen. And obviously the scream pre-drop vocal. Obviously, yeah, we got that as well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm personally not a fan of sidekicks. Some of them, but in general, kind of had my fair share of it. But in terms of like if it fits in the track, yeah, it does. Has a good amount of power. I would still put like a bit of like transient in it, because I know that sidekicks are not really about transients, but there's like sidekicks from Rebellion and Verta that I heard that I really like, that just have a tiny bit of like punch in and like talk in them. Which I definitely want in a track. That's the only thing I would do with like a sidekick like that, personally at least. Second kick, really good. Like also like the tremolo vocal that you have in it, and like the sort of whammy sound in the background. Everything really fits. Only thing is that the the sounds, the lead sounds. Just one sec. Could maybe use a bit more warmth, especially in the drop itself. Could also be the kick itself. I think what people do nowadays a lot, and I do that as well with, especially with, almost got him. I did a lot with anti-kicks and outro kicks, is that people do these massive dips in like the low mid frequency range. Because it's a big trend nowadays for hardstyle kicks. But the thing is that I'm missing that warmth now. And with like an anti and an outro kick, mid intro kick, I get that. But here I'm really missing that crunch of a tail, that really warm, nice crunch. That's the thing that I'm only lacking here. Like leads are cool. Leads are really cool. Like I said, also misses a bit of warmth. What you can do... What you can do is add a another lead layer. It could be saw, maybe even sine wave, pulse wave. Or copy one of your leads and then turn it down an octave. So you have a lower octave synth that's present too, because that gives a lot of body to the leads. And same with the kick. Like I said, I would add a crunch that adds more body. So it also automatically adds warmth, because that's kind of where you get that. It's from the low mids slash the, well, more the mids, low mids, mids. But other than that, it's a solid track, really good. I don't know how many years you've been producing, but it sounds good. I would keep up the good work, and yeah, I mean, with a little bit of tweaking, yeah, I for sure play this track. So if you have more stuff like this and you improve, then yeah, send me more stuff and I'll see if I can play this. It's really good, man. Really down my alley as well. Like it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the demos again. Okay, do we have Sacred Mind in the chat? Do we have him in the chat? You in the chat? Sacred Mind? Call for Sacred Mind? Going once? Going twice? Sacred Mind. Anyone know a Sacred Mind? No? No one? No Sacred Mind in the chat? Okay, well. If there's no Sacred Mind in the chat, then I'll just go on to the next one. We'll just go to the next one. If he responds, then we'll do that one. Do we have Tommy Random? Do we have that in the chat? Tommy Random. Just gotta start naming names, because I'm pretty sure like I can skip a couple of tracks because they're not in the chat. No one. No. No, last call for Tommy Random with 2023-7-31 lower dash we lower dash had lower dash a lower dash dream dream lower dash mixtapes lower dash V7. So no? Okay, well, next. I mean, it saves a lot of time, not gonna lie. Have you seen mine? I couldn't make it to the start of the stream. I don't think so. I don't know what time you sent it in. Let's see. Do we have Core Resonate, the anti-hero? Do we have Blue Phoenix with Drawing? Do we have Drago and Heartshot with Synergy? Do we have No Yes Fiend, Hear Me? Do we have Hard to Be with Alarm? I'm just gonna start naming, and if someone responds, I'll just listen to it. Because like up until this point, no one's responded, so I'll just keep going. Laureen Tattoo Hardstyle Remix. Let's see, Fractal with Chasing Stars. Oh, Blue Phoenix. Okay, cool. I'll pick yours. Sweet. Where is it? Blue Phoenix, Tron. Okay, Blue Phoenix. Cool. Blue Phoenix with Drawing. I'll just name those tracks again if when we're done. Okay, that was Blue Phoenix with Drawing. Blue 3003N1X. Was it that the correct way as I am? Just being sarcastic. Okay, so, first of all, let's like that. Nice arpeggio melody. Enough reverb. Sorry. A lot of reverb. A lot of reverb. What key is that? What note is that? Is that a Then a D? Isn't that a D? Like a high D or a D sharp? Are you kidding me? Or an E flat? Is this? Damn. That's okay. Let me tell you. That's not gonna cut it with a live sound system. I'm just gonna break it to you. Yeah, that's not gonna cut with the live system. And you know why? Because the highest I've went was I think was a C with the black hole, which I didn't. I was like clueless about it, and I remember Headhunters reviewing the demo and during his live stream, he was like, "Oh, it's a C. It's really high, but I like it." And I was like C, like what's wrong with that? And yeah, C is pretty high to be honest for a mid intro kick. For like main drops, it's fine because you're not gonna play it constantly. But with this, yeah, you're gonna play it. Yeah, it's D. Maybe I think it's D sharp. It's E when it goes up a semitone. Well, yeah, of course it's an E when it goes up a semitone. Yeah. I think that's a little bit too high. That's way too high because most live sound systems, with some exceptions, are more focused around F to G. I think maybe higher, but like let's say, okay, let's do it broadly. Let's say that F until A sharp is feasible. Anything up as like a miniature kick has a higher chance of not punching through the live systems in terms of sub than it will. So I would definitely stray away from going anything higher than A sharp or B. I mean, still, like if it suits the track, but I hear a lot of tracks where the keys on, like, let's say for instance a D or a C sharp or C, and they take the intro and then they sort of like have sort of this breakdown or glide down or pitch bend down with like the key that they have, and then they play like a G. it's in a key. It's in the same. It is in a key, a G note, but it doesn't make sort of sense. It's not logical to have a G because your root note is a C, and then you're gonna play a G. But they do that. Probably, I'd say so. I would do it because it punches better through the live systems. So yeah, I would not do a D. And even then, I do a lower D. And if it's an E, which I kind of doubt, I would do a lower D. Lower E. So that. In terms of kick as well, could use a bit more low end, a little bit more high end. You see that the tail is really struggling because it's being played so high. Like here, it's fine. It's fine because you're playing a progression, so it's not going to be in that D or D sharp area the whole time. So that's fine. Everything can use a tab more high end as well, even with like the arpeggiator melody. A lot of reverb. I do have to give you this, though. I do have to give you credit for being ballsy and not including a vocal in a track, because no one does that. And the reason for that is because it sort of loses its commercial potential, so to speak. It's a mainstream or commercial potential. Not including, I know, Mysterious. It has like the sort of almost opera vocal, but not a singing vocal, not a lead vocal. I know, but that's like the only exception, and it blew up, and yeah. But you're not gonna 9 out of 10 times you're not gonna get that. And yes, I know you have Electronic Symphony. I know, but that's like the only exceptions. So for commercial or for like mainstream potential, definitely add a vocal. Is what I would do. It's ballsy, but I would definitely do that. And kind of the feedback as well, there's not a lot going on to make it feel more there's not a lot of tension going on here as well, and not tension as in dread, because it's more like a happy song, so to speak, but even then there's not a lot of action going on, so to speak. And that's partially because there's no vocal that sort of guides the track. That's kind of, see, like if there was a vocal on top of it, be a little bit of a different story. But hearing a lot of the same things. See, I'm only hearing like the melody. You see what I mean? Like every single part does the melody to the point where it's overly present. So I would add different elements, like I said. Also, like think more about rhythmic patterns, like drums, making some cool transitions between. But other than that, it's it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I like the sort of happy, euphoric vibe that it gives off. And I always love arpeggio melodies, so it's good. And I also like, which maybe some people call it cheap. Nah, I love it when you have like a back in the day, especially when you had like a melody and then the second drop would just be the same drop, but it'd be pitched down a semitone. I'm still a sucker for that. I love that. And it's not like, it's like at the second part of that main drop, so I like that. Keep that in. Add a vocal. Do variations on every single part. Because like I said, I'm only hearing the melody with like some background sounds. Yeah. Keep improving. Keep producing. And yeah, love to hear from whatever you have next. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Do we have Drago and Heartshot synergy? Do we have those in the chat? Drago, and Heartshot with synergy. No? No? No one? No? No? Okay. No one. Let's see. No, did I have that one? No, yes, fiend. Oh, no, yes, fiend. No eyes, fiend. Hear me? Oh, Drago. Okay, cool, awesome, sweet. Okay, then we'll play that. Okay, this is Drago. Am I saying that right? Drago and Heartshot with synergy. Damn, it's already almost 9:30 p.m. Damn it. Oh. Okay. That was Drago and Heartshot with synergy. Now, yeah, I read some comments in the comment section about the thinness of the track, and I have to agree on that. There's really a lot that's squeezed out. In general, it's really noisy. Feel like there's probably a lot of compression going on, a lot of OTT. I really feel like there's a lot of OTT going on. Could be wrong, but this sounds like it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's one tip that I would give you, is also create more warmth, less hissing as in high end. Well, not necessarily less high end, but just balancing out with more of the low mids and mids. So build more body. That's the word, body. So more warmth. I like that though. I would add just some small details, because like I mentioned, every 8 bars, variation and adding things and removing and changing things. But I always like, especially with like older hardstyle, where you had at the very beginning that they were already announced the melody, which made it a lot easier for people to actually remember the melody. And I like that with like a nice bell pluck. I like that. Impacts. Get impacts. Get an impact sample pack. It needs like a big boom, you know? Like, wow, here's the melody. It needs to have presence. And like I said, it's a really, it feels like really this house rave-y kind of lead. I feel like this is, fuck, was it? Was it the track from, no. Was it the track from Hetty and Steve Aoki, or the track from Hetty and Kashmir, Dharma, which had the sound really reminds me of it. Yeah, really reminds me of it. So yeah, not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Let me just scroll back for a sec, because I forgot, because someone mentioned that I forgot their demo, but it was posted before yesterday, so I didn't count it towards it. Yeah, the first demo I thought was yesterday at 12:54 p.m. and that one was actually the 6th of August. Yeah, so I didn't think it was gonna be part of that, because the other demos were sent at that point as well. Kashmir? Yeah, Kashmir. Okay. Yeah, that's Dharma. 100% Dharma. It could be a heady lead from the house scene, but I like it, but it sounds a bit too squeezed. Like I said, too compressed. There's not a lot of warmth going on, but it's a cool sound. And like I said, because everything is so squeezed, it's also kind of hard for me to listen to every single element, kind of indicating a transition to the next thing. So like for instance, this part, like sort of like a fake drop, but you can hear it, but everything's getting drowned out at that point, and everything's squeezed tight, that it sort of loses its impact with building transition. Or presence. Sorry, presence. Remove that bass line when the vocal hits, because if there's one thing that I kind of don't like as well, is when there's a bass line that gets dragged out through a certain part, even though you have sort of your interval, but before your before your drop, basically your pre-drop, like this. You want to keep that like as clean as possible. Like, let's say for instance you have like I mentioned with having a drop and then adding like these really cool sounds in between, and you want to give as much space to those sounds as possible. Do the same thing here. Like remove everything and then just the vocal, put just the vocal in it with like a different sound, like maybe cool FX kick sound, like I mentioned, and then do like the anti. Because this is fine. You can hear that, like transition. That's like, yeah. I mean, yeah, you can hear it. You can hear transition towards the actual drop itself. But everything just glides. How do you say that? Everything just. You should definitely think about doing a bit more intervals or pauses. I don't know what you want to call them, because everything feels like it's just flowing through, even though, especially with like drop switches, so to speak, or like build-ups towards new drops. This feels really, how do you say that? There's no pause between, as in like a pre-drop, to really give that drop power and impact. Like it just goes through like that. Like it needs like, you need to like remove things and give more room for like a especially like the pre-drop vocals from from raw tracks, like the really shouty things. They really have like space to punch through, to like really be really present, and then you have like the kick. And this feels like everything's being drowned out so much that there's not really an impact to towards the drop. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm trying to explain as best as I can, but yeah. Yeah. So that's This is also mentioned with the last track where I said like the root note that you used for that main drop was too high. This is actually the same thing as in the sort of solution that I gave. I think it's I think this is what is this? C sharp? I don't know what key this is. I'm terrible at guessing that. But the actual mid intro is in a different key, or at least a different note, a different bass note or a kick note than the root note of this track. And the root note is basically the first, like the actual how do you say that? Basically the first note the track starts with. Kind of hard to say that. Let's say for instance you have like a track on A, key A, then normally you would have A be the first part of the chord. So you have A and then what is it, like A, C, E, I think? A, C, E. Yeah. And then what you have here is the kick is in F, I think, F sharp, something like that, which is not the root note. But you can do that, it's fine. Like especially with like anti-drops, that's fine. But then you'll be able to have more presence with live systems. Like I mentioned, like these kicks, these subs, like the lower subs, they work way better with sound systems than having a really high D or D sharp. I don't remember what key it is, to be honest. Yeah, I have the same issue. Yeah, that's basically the feedback. But like I mentioned, like I said, lots of room for improvement, but just keep on producing. And then maybe I'll see another track from you in the future. Okay, so Trusta, I'm sorry I forgot about you. I did not know that. So we've got Trusta Bring You Back with artwork as well. Damn. Okay, right. We'll play this. Wait, maybe I'll make it easier to judge demos so I can just keep track of names. If you submitted a demo and I haven't listened to it yet, just call that out in chat. Just let yourself be heard if you haven't heard your demo yet, but you have submitted it. I'll try to give priority on the people that sent it like a while before. But if you haven't heard your demo yet, but you did make a submission through Discord, just let me know in chat, okay? Okay. That was Trusta with Bring You Back. Let me just remove these for a sec, because I was keeping track of people who mentioned in chat that they have submitted, but they haven't had their track played yet or reviewed yet. So I'm just gonna do that real quick so I have everyone's track. Let's see, who do we have? Let's see. You know what? We'll do that afterwards. I'll just keep track of chat. Okay, I can actually do search as well. Whatever. Cool. Okay. Okay, so I'll immediately say it's not my my type of music, to be honest. Just so I can give a bit of more of an objective opinion on it. As in it's cool, but no music. Kicks are good. Leads are good. I mean, it just sounds like a solid track. It sounds like a track that you already released on a label like Savage Squad or Gearbox. Yeah, so I really know what kind of feedback I can give you. The only thing I really like is having that really the whole space for the kick. So what you have right here is you instantly have you sort of extend the vocal, the pre-drop vocal, in the first part of the mid intro, which I personally wouldn't do, because you want to really have that kick be as present as possible, as in your face as possible. I just like only do the kick for like at least the first 2, 3, 4 bars. Like right here. You can do that here, but like you really want to have that kick be in your face. And that's why personally I wouldn't do the vocal. I wouldn't extend the vocal into the first like 4, 3, let's say 2 to 4 bars in the mid intro. Yeah, dark sounding, gated kicks. Yeah, what can I say? Honestly, I don't have a lot of people because it sounds good. What can you do to improve it? Honestly, I wouldn't know. Maybe if I really like delved into it, gave it a couple of listens. But like this, no. To be fair, I think there's a lot of other people that could do more with getting feedback on a track. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's more like you probably just need to keep going with what you have right now. It's good. It's actually solid. That's more what I mean by it. That's what I mean with that other people's submitted demos can probably use more feedback than you can, which is a good thing because it means that it's like really solid. So yeah, that's really good. Like rhythmic structure, like the drums in between the kick, the cool like vocal chops. I like that. Maybe a lot of things are mono now, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it means that you have a strong mono mix. I would make the vocal more stereo. I would add more stereo imaging to the vocal and maybe do some panning, but definitely make because I feel like the mix is entirely in the middle mostly. Aside from the leads, like I can hear it, like it's very wide. But then like the mid intros and just the hard drops are really in the middle. Aside from the drums, maybe they're like panning to the left and right. I can hear that, but like I think having the vocal be more stereo would help out. Yeah. So that's it. I always need feedback. I doubt myself too much. Trust me. We've all been there, and we're probably still there. If you're not downing your music, if you're not downing your music, you're doing something wrong. And no, not really. The more thing is, if you don't think you can improve, then then you're done. There's always room for improvement, even if you've been producing for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I have no idea because I've been producing for 6 years ish. But every year, reflect on yourself. What's gone good? Like, what have you done that turned out good? Like, in terms of music, in terms of bookings in general, and what can you improve on? So, but like I said, solid track. Let's just go to the next one. What time does the stream end? Yeah, I don't know. Because like I said, I want to eat dinner. I still have to eat dinner. And even then, I don't want to make it too late. I'll try to get through as much demos as I can, but like I mentioned, I really love giving in-depth feedback. I don't want to half-ass this stuff. So, hi, are you the car guy? What car guy? If you mean the video on TikTok that went viral on VK Mag and Dumpert and 9gag and 30 Mexican Instagram pages that have more likes and views than my own video has, of the guy that went nuts in the car next to his girlfriend to want to play from the Prophet. No, that's not me. Okay, let's see. What do we have? I feel like the stream is a bit delayed, yeah, because it's kind of hard to. Wait, can I just like search? Yeah, there we go. And then let's see. The first one was Nothing But Noise DJ. Is that one? Oh, I can't find that, you guys. Yeah, I can't find you guys. That's annoying. It's kind of hard to search through. So I'm just gonna do this again. Probably gonna be easier. I don't know how other people usually do it, but yeah, I know nothing. I know you're there, Noise, but I can't see the tracks. There's a lot of demos, and yeah. Let me just check the most recent ones, because I know that they'll probably be in the stream. Because I have Diffuse, which is the most recent one. I have the Driver Ethereal Stream Test. I've got Rise of the Underground by Quasar. I got let's see. I got the Lullaby by Tolly. I got End by Once. Guys, people in chat, if you could submit your demo again, because that makes it a little bit easier. Because then I know whoever's in chat right now is, well, here. As in whoever's posting now in Discord, I know for sure that they're in chat. So if you want to send your demo again, preferably SoundCloud or Discord, they can play it. So sorry if some people are going have posted it like hours or days ago, and I'm not getting towards theirs. I'm sorry, but I want to make sure that the demos I'm reviewing are from people that are in chat right now. So let's see. So we'll just wait for everyone to submit demos. We'll take the one from Diffused because I know he's here, which is called Realm of Sound Preview with #RawFork.
In the realm of sound, we rise as one. A symphony of power.
Oh, there's one thing, by the way, I want to mention with a couple of demos I heard. Careful with the compression, because there's, I think it was the track from, well, I think there were two demos where the compression was pretty heavy. or the clipping, like literally the master was clipping, because I heard a lot of ducking that was feeling really unnatural, with like main drops, kicks coming in. So just be careful with that. If you don't know how a compressor works, I recommend searching how a compressor works so you know how to use it.
A battle begun. Frozen hearts, blazing souls collide. Unleash the fire, let destiny be our guide.
What's the cooldown time on the submissions? Because if it's a lot, then I'll search for it.
Through the storm, we stand tall. Fearless warriors breaking down
Oh, sorry. Timestamps are good too. Times I can check that. It's really chaotic. I'm sorry.
the wall. Pulsing energy, a rhythm in our veins. Defying limits, shattering the chains. In this grand stage, power diffused remains.
The last kick sounded like I was in a rage after losing an Apex and then kicking the couch because I didn't want to break anything. Kind of sound like that. Yeah, I see you guys. I see you guys as timestamps, and I will get to it. But I can't promise I can get to everything because it's already at 9:50 p.m. Maybe we'll have to do a follow-up stream. But yeah, can't promise anything. I'm sorry. Okay, so diffused realm of sound.
Hearts, we stand tall. Diffused.
Honestly, yeah, pretty decent preview.
Unleash the fire, let destiny. Through the storm, we stand tall. Fearless warriors breaking down the wall. Pulsing energy, a rhythm in our veins. Defying limits, shattering the chains. In this grand stage, power diffused remains. Remains.
What to give feedback on? I mean, yeah, to be honest, I'd say solid structure in terms of like arrangement. Yeah, sounds
Grand stage.
sounds clear enough.
Power diffused.
Now you do have body, but now I'm missing a bit of. Now I'm actually missing a bit of. I wouldn't say just high-end presence.
Or diffused remains.
Might be it's even too low in volume. Not necessarily missing like specific frequencies, but low in volume. Might be missing some high frequencies as well, but I'm not.
Diffused remains.
I'm not really feeling that impact as well. It feels really low.
Power diffused remains.
Yeah, especially because the vocal,
Power diffused remains.
the vocal is way louder than the leads. So I would up the leads or lower the volume of the vocal.
Chains. Limits.
Lower the volume of the vocal. Yeah. The lead could be more unique. Yeah. Those are the kind of things that I wouldn't really give as feedback. Not that you can't do that, but it's more. Yeah. Then I'd probably say that with a lot of things. But that's, like I mentioned, that's all it's all a thing of experience and growing. So that takes time. So, but sounds fine. It just takes time to find that signature lead sound. Also, kick drums, snares. This is only a crash. Like really, and you want to like really announce your end time or announce your drop. And there's only a crash here. Yeah. Do something like that, you know. Yeah, use drums to announce, or like the kick that you did here, the effects kick was good. And now it's actually missing body, the leads. So okay, so it's the bass line that has the body. I would add some body to the leads as well, which you can do by again copying one of the leads, turn it down octave, and focus more around the cutting off the obviously the low end and maybe a little bit of the high end, and focusing more around having the body of that frequency span. So having low mids. Also, there's not really an announcement towards the second drop. Also, really like randomly out of nowhere. Well, not randomly, but just out of nowhere. Like, yeah, if you count, you can see that is exactly the moment where you want the drop to be, but there's no announcements like drums or vocals or leads that signify that drop's coming. Plus, I'm actually sad that you didn't use that melody and made a main drop out of it. Like, it's a preview, I know, but yeah, like you should definitely make a main drop with like the melody. Other than that,
energy remains.
Yeah, like sounds really decent. So just keep on improving and keep making music. Can't resubmit. Okay. It's all right. Like I said, I'm gonna try and get to you guys' demos. Yeah, because Flexi, I'm gonna do yours because I'm pretty sure you were one of the first people in chat. So I want to do yours. Let's see, Flexi, which one did you have? Flexi can Into the Night. Okay, let's just look up that one. No results. Why is that? It's weird. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. Into the Night Part 1, right? Okay. Gotcha. Flexi can Into the Night.
Starry night, another fight. I hear the sound as you turn right. Feel the cold, there's nothing left to say. Howling wind, another bend. Where to
Okay, that was Flexican Into the Night Part 1. Hey, I'm seeing a familiar name. Is that the same eFused that's been around for a while? And is that the same eFused that I added 9 years ago to the Future of Hardstyle? Because I can remember doing that while making the reviewing the demos of the Future of Hardstyle, and I'm pretty sure you guys were in there as well. You fused with, was there reflections? I think. Not sure. If you guys have a demo, then send it over as well, because I'm really curious. Yeah, what you guys have done in the past 9 years. Okay, so yeah, let's address the elephant in the room. Leads, stereo, no, more mono. It's very. I feel like it's 100%, 200% stereo. That's gonna do a big oof when you play that live, because 95% of sound system, 99% of sound system are mono. So that's gonna hurt your mix. I remember there was a track, I think it was activated with Steam Train. You want to hear something hilarious, like hilarious. If you don't have it, download Activator Steam Train, put it in your DAW, put a utility on it, set it to mono, and then you'll hear what it does when you have a stereo sound, like a 100% stereo sound. It is hilarious. But in this case, yeah, don't make it stereo. I mean, do make it stereo. Don't make it 100% stereo, because you can hear that. Yeah, it feels like it's 100% stereo. A little bit too much. Way too much. Let's be honest. It's like everything else. So you can hear that. So yeah, but okay. Overall, yeah, has a pretty nice vibe. Feels a bit empty on certain parts. Especially because you have like your sort of intro break before the melody is a minute long, and that's a lot of time to fill up with elements. You've got a lot of room to add elements and remove and replace, like I mentioned before. So definitely do that. Look, add cool rhythms like you do here. All cool rhythms, add more rhythms, make things more interesting. Because you have to imagine that people, you have to imagine that probably you're gonna want to play this track live, right? You have to imagine that people are gonna have to sort of stand still for a minute before they can sort of do something, which is like sing along or play along with the melody, if they know your melody. Which means, again, that's a minute that they're gonna like stand still. So you have to find a way, if you're really gonna do a minute worth of a intro break, that you have interesting things going on in the break that people want to play along with. Like let's say for instance, like the track City Lights from Rebellion is pretty long. Like the breaks are really long. I was really surprised about that, but that's because the vocal is really recognizable. People have a lot of moments to sing along and vibe along. But even then, the track's pretty long. And nowadays tracks breaks are probably not longer than a minute. And that's a standard that you don't have to stand by with. But I would really seriously consider, how do you say that? I wouldn't say consolidating, no, compromising with your breaks. Make them a little bit less long. Yeah. I don't know if this is already is this already a kick? Okay, that's sort of a pre-drop kick, I think. What? I think the lead should have a mono layer. No, I think the lead should be more mono. Not have a mono layer, but be more mono. Because like I said, you can add a mono layer, but you'll still have a large percentage of your leads that are in full stereo, which it's really gonna duck down your volume in mono systems because it's all the way spread out, which means if you downmix it to mono, you won't hear as much of it. It'll be like almost gone. Reverb is a different story, but like stereo imaging in terms of your leads, yeah, it's gonna do some damage to your mix down when it's played live. So yeah, percussion, filling up with elements. Like I said, so the one biggest tip I can give for people who are sort of at this stage where they're sort of like discovering things and they're finding a way within making music, find reference tracks. Listen to reference tracks, listen to your favorite artists, but really listen and analyze tracks, especially artists that fall in the category that you want to fit into. I had that with Future Noise at the very start. So find your favorite artists, try to analyze their tracks, what makes the tracks tick, how long are they, what kind of build-up do they have, what kind of elements are in the build-up, how do the leads sound and the kicks sound in the frequency spectrum, like in the mix, how do they create space for specific elements like screeches and vocals that really like kick in the drop. Yeah. That's what I would do. Yeah. But again, no main drop. Where's the main drop? There's a melody. There's no main drop. Add a main drop. God damn it. Come on, guys. Add a main drop. You got a melody. You gotta use it. I know the track's already 3.5 minutes long. Damn. That's why I would say cut down on the breaks a bit, or especially the first break. But man, get a main drop, man. Main drops, we're lacking main drops nowadays so much. Well, the main drops are usually like at the very end, and almost no one plays it. You'd be surprised like how few people know main drops of specific tracks. Like for instance, like Let the Games Begin has a main drop that almost never gets played because people are going for that anti drop. So main drops, Main drops. Want a main drop? Check it out, track. Ah, that's good. You got me. You got me. No. Like I said, I'm trying to find tracks from the people who are in chat. But seeing as it's 10 p.m., I'm not gonna say we're gonna quit. We're gonna go on for a little bit longer, maybe an hour tops. But before that, I'm just gonna take a short break, and then we'll be right back. So stick around, guys. Don't go anywhere. Grab a snack, grab a coffee. Well, not coffee because it's 10 p.m. And I'll be right back. Cool. We're back. You might have noticed that it's 10:23 p.m. Which means bit spot here. Which means I'll probably do a couple of more demos and then I'll wrap this up for today. I really wish I had more time to review these guys' demos, or to do it in a more orderly fashion. That's a point of feedback I can bring with me for the next time. I'd love to be on this live stream in the future more often. So yeah, so on point, if you want to invite me again in the future, then I'd be down for it. So let's do a couple more demos, and then we'll wrap this up. Let's see. Okay. Let's see who will do. Oh, give me 1 sec. I need to do this real quick. Sorry about that. There we go. Let's see. What do we have? See, Sacred Mind. Didn't I review your track already? I did, right? Keep forgetting. If I didn't, I'll do that one. There's another demo that I got, which is this one. It's called One More Night. And I'm pretty sure that person is in the chat because they sent it to me directly. So we're gonna listen to this preview, which is also only 1 minute and 14 seconds. So let's listen to it.
Your body's uptight. I see you standing there like you're not in the mood. No, I'm on your mind. You watch me dancing all night. Why don't you make a move?
I'll check your demo, Sacred Mind. If I didn't listen to it yet, I'll listen to it, and if I did, then sorry about that.
One more night ago, before you know, I could be a Juliet and Romeo. Just one more night ago, let's do the show. Living in the moment, and not too slow. Yeah, one more night ago.
Just one more night. Just one more night.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. That was One More Night. And that's pretty good. Pretty good.
One more night.
Love that, like, psytrance-y kick. It's cool. The laser sounds. I love that, how do you call that? That, pulsy pad, sort of. I love that. Really, that ravey sound.
Just one more night.
Really nice. I can definitely hear like these really cool underground rave kind of atmosphere in it. That's good.
Your body's up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, solid preview. I don't know what else to say about it.
Just one more night.
The only thing is this kind of music is so like the raw scene is dominating so much that this kind of stuff I beg to think that this will not get through, so to speak. That's just my opinion on it, but because there's such a almost oversaturation in raw music in the specific raw trend. Yeah, I feel like this won't get as much appreciation as the raw stuff, even though, well, as much attention. Appreciation, definitely, but it's cool. I like it. It's yeah, different vibe. It's cool. Wish I could hear more of it, but good idea. Good idea. Okay, so Sacred Mind. Let me check, just to be sure. I'm pretty sure. Did I listen to it? Okay, so then I don't think I've listened to it. Okay, so I'll listen to this one and then I'll listen to, I think I've seen Point Break a lot. Point Break, Dirty Sound. Okay, I'll listen to these two. Maybe if I have a little bit more time, I'll listen to another one as well. So stick around. But for now, I'll just pick these two. Man's gotta eat too. Didn't eat yet. I love that crackling at the end. Like the lo-fi vibes. Like that. Okay, first of all, I like it because it gives me like classic hardstyle vibes, and yeah, I grew up in the classic era. So it does my heart well. But let me get right down to sort of already my conclusion. I like this type of music. I like this type of hardstyle. I think it could work. Damn, close. Close. I think it could work 12 years ago. And that's purely in a business perspective that I'm giving right now. I think you should definitely keep going with this. But if I think that this would be able to grow, potentially grow into a, grow commercially speaking, no, I don't think it can. Because this kind of era has is gone for many years, and I've heard people who still do this kind of stuff, the really old school classic hardstyle trend, which I really like. But if I have to if I have to give my opinion based off of what I think could work in the current scene, then no, I don't think so. But that doesn't change the fact that I really like it, though. I really like it. There's some things that you can improve on, definitely. Like, for instance, I really feel like at this point you'll get like a melody break, because right now yeah, this really feels like a melodic build-up, where you get either the main drop or a melodic break, where you have the full melody and then you'll build towards the build-up, like you do. Nah, okay, this is more of a different build-up. So that kind of throws me off guard, and not in a good way. So I would definitely do a different kind of build-up to announce your sort of mid-intro, and less of the melodic stuff. I would definitely replace the melodic side, so the melody, with something that you would use in the mid-intro, so that you can really announce the fact that you're gonna do more of a mid-intro than a melody break or a main drop. At least in my opinion, that is. Everything else, that's fun. As in, yeah, it's fun. It sounds fun. Melody's cool. Yeah, I like that, man. I miss the classical era so much, man. Like, I'm really happy in the current scene we are right now, because it's constantly evolving. You have to, keep up with trends and everything. But this kind of stuff does really warm my heart, because it makes me think back about the old days. Nostalgia. But Kick Game can definitely root for approval. Maybe the tail specifically. It's kind of hard to give this kind of technical feedback, because I'm not too experienced in that, to be honest. It's cool. Like this, yeah, this definitely feels like you're gonna get a melody break instead of like a miniature straight off the bat. So I would do that. And then have this, like without the kick, just having the melody. Like this. I would do this. Like this. There it is. And then not go to this part, but like play out the full melody in the break style, and then build up like this, for instance. Without the kick. For instance, that's what I would do. Yeah. Yes, it will be hard to put this mainstream, but love the fact that some guys didn't see the rules of 2023 and produce what they love. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for people doing whatever the hell they want. Isn't that the whole point of like music production in general? It's just being creative and just loving what you make. Because if you lose that foundation, then you're finished. Like, you should never stop loving making music. Because if you stop loving music production, yeah, then you've got some problems. Well, problems, then you've got a big issue. So yeah, of course, like by all means, keep making this kind of music. But like I said, I'm also here to give a bit of advice, and I didn't do that with the last demos, but that was more because they were more in the sort of category or trend that we are in nowadays, except for maybe one or two demos. So that's why I want to give advice on that as well. Like if you're seriously considering like turning this into a career, which maybe some of you do, some of you don't, then yes, I would seriously consider a sort of change of scenery, because this is not really known for making it through in the current hardstyle scene. So you were born 12 years too late. No, kidding. No, I know how old you are, but no. But again, don't take this the wrong way. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, improve on this, man. Like, improve on this. Like, I definitely feel like this is not a final version. You can definitely improve on this track, or you can do it for the next track. But I like the vibe of this track, to be honest. Yeah, I like that. Cool, nice. All right, sweet, cool track. Let's see. Now we have. Now we have Point Break with Dirty Sound. Come here, fucking mosquito. Wait, give me a sec. Ah, I got him. There he is. Yeah. Good little shits. Don't you know better than not to invade the home of the actual fucking fly squatter himself? All right, cool. So again, Point Break, Dirty Sound V3. Where's the rest of the track? Where's the rest of the track? Where is it? Where is it? It's I'm missing a part of the track, man. I was just getting in the vibe, and now you blue ball me like this, man. God damn it. God damn it. It's never right, isn't it? But solid track. Yeah, solid track. okay, this is also a really good foundation. You've got rhythm going, you've got power and drive going, you've got what's it called? Consistency going, and to be honest, yeah, there's a unique part that I definitely instantly heard in a track, which is this. Bit of like the future, bit of like future bass ish. It's cool. It's very cool. It's very cool. Really, really cool track. Like it in terms of like new raw arrangements, this fits the picture. Really cool, like rhythmic, like vocal chop. Really cool, like that. It's always that kind of stuff. It's like you have the pause and the snares. This is like exactly that. That's exactly what I want to kind of have with like nowadays is raw, because yeah, even though people might be of the opinion like, oh, it all sounds the same, or it's, I don't know, non-inspirational, way too hard, but like in terms of the commercial part of it being catchy, man, raw takes the cake of being catchy. Like you've got melodies and all that stuff from like traditional hardstyle years back, and obviously nowadays too, but like what raw really has, it just keeps pumping, and I like that. Like I had a long period where I was like, damn, I really like raw. There's a specific artist that I like, and some people I don't really like because it's just not my taste. But this kind of structure I really like, because this is the kind of stuff that I would play. It's the same when Vertel started. Like every single track I was like, damn, I want to play this because I go nuts on stage, and that's the kind of energy that I want with playing tracks from other people, but also with my own tracks. But I lacked that kind of substance with my own tracks. And it wasn't that I didn't want to do that. It was I just didn't have the necessary like knowledge. I didn't. I'm starting to slowly get towards that, and this is kind of like a really good example. It's a really good reference. Like I mentioned, like really, like if you dissect this, you've got already like tension building up with like the drums. Riser, obviously. Then the pause. That's also really like, yeah, it's really like sort of traditional at the pause. Like the, and then the vocal, like the vocal hook, and then building up. Pause, and and snares, and pre-drop vocal. Really cool pauses in between, really making the vocal chops pop, and making it too groovy. And usually gay kicks weren't my thing, but I like that. Cool. Again, having transitions between specific parts of drops doesn't even have to be that you have an 8-bar drop and then a build up towards another 8-bar, even 16-bar drop. But even in between having those pauses really does it justice. Like right here. See how you create space? Like, and I'm trying to, again, this is a really good reference for a lot of people here. They're trying to make this kind of music. Like, everything's gone, except for the vocal, for that breakbeat, and then whatever comes next. So you have this. Gone. And that's what you want, because if you extend certain sounds, like reverb still playing, or a release of a sound still playing, you won't get that same kind of groove, or consistency, or impact, or drive, because it's way too muddy in that sense. You want to keep space. Same with this as well. You just want to keep space. And then with the transition towards the second part. It's good. I like it. It's really groovy. It's very cool. And then obviously, what if you really want to have it be sort of have this hit potential, what a lot of our artists have, especially Active Rage and Disturb and Cryax and Aversion. They have this screechy lead that has a simple pattern, it follows a simple pattern, but it's very catchy in that sense. And they really give that space. So what happens, build up the second drop, and then you give all the space for the screech pattern. And build up again. And then this is something that you can hear people like scream along to live. You know, those are the kind of things, those are the kind of transitions, announcements that you want to have to create a potentially successful track. I mean, success is all measured relatively, but in my own opinion, this is the kind of stuff that you want to do if you want to follow a formula that can work, that can potentially work. I'm not saying it's always going to work, but you have the potential of it working. So, yeah. So it's good. Good track. Good track. Not too much of a fan of this kick specifically, because everything feels too empty and the screech doesn't really do justice, but this is good. And then this is like, I like this. See how it creates a lot more space, but for me in the wrong, well, not wrong way, but in a less attractive way, but this is like really cool. Cool. I like this. I think there was something else, a sound here. Yeah, that's oh, what's it called? That's such a specific sound. The sick mode and ruler sound. Nah, I'm kidding. But it's like the creme de la creme of groove sounds. Like the breakbeat-ish rhythm that you have with that sound. It's really creative. That's cool. Yeah, you can definitely see that you're like taking inspiration from Adjust probably, and maybe artists that are relatively similar to him. But it doesn't matter. Like one thing you guys have to keep in mind is no one's gonna start off being a complete unique artist. No one. Back in the day, everyone was either doing tracks like Wild Styles or Noise Controls or Headhunters. Nowadays, it's really close to like Sick Mode and Ruler and Adjust and Vertal. And a couple of years back, it was Noise Controls and Spirit of Hardstyle, you know, with that new kick, the new Pioneer kick, which is nuts. There's always an era of 1, 2, 3 artists that sort of dominate the scene, and everyone's basing their recipe off of them, which is fine, because I remember, I think it was Ravage. When he came in, I was like, damn, that sounds like exactly like Sub-Zero Project. And I was like, Ravage, you know, it takes time. And it goes for every single artist. And don't forget that some artists take so long to get their defined signature sound. So don't be too frustrated if it doesn't work after 2 years, after 5 years. Because some people say, for instance, I have a signature sound, I'm still working on it, but some people say, and I'm really happy with that, and some people don't have that, you know. Let me check. Let me check for a sec, because I actually was working on something. You know what? Let me just go right here for a second. I don't know if you guys want to hear something that I made. I don't know if you guys are interested in that as well. Could do a small sort of self-review, more like the choices that I made, and give that as a point of feedback, like what you can do. Let's see. See here. Damn, another mosquito, Jesus. Okay. Okay. Oh, jeez, mosquito. Damn it. Okay, so, this is more of a this was a project that I made for because there was a DEFCON writing session, a vocal singer-songwriter session for people interested during the artist camp or the artist campsite. And we just spent a day in a couple of hours in the studio, and they wrote vocals and kind of we sparred a bit, and this is what came out of it. It's a little bit different in terms of like vocal what I usually do, so I tried to give it my own twist as much as I can. But the one thing I want to give with this is the sort of process, and maybe give a comparison between a previous version, because usually I have trouble in the first days, like the first phase of making a track, where it's like really intimidating because you're making a track from scratch again, and like, you know, what are you gonna do? And then eventually you get to a point where it's like, you're not really sure like what direction you have to go, and then immediately, like all of a sudden, you get into a flow and you finish the track, and that's fortunately where I was today. So I'll just play it. And it's quite low though. Wait.
Up in the sky, we are together. Let's fall deep into the night, 'cause we never stop the chasing.
Hope it's not too loud though.
Up in the sky, we are together. I feel love is on the rise. Never stop the chasing. Fall deep into the night, 'cause we never stop the chasing.
Yeah, I was gonna. Sorry, yeah, I was gonna say it's it was a different version. This is a new version.
On and on, I can get no sleep. This will set us free. The time is now. On and on.
Yeah, no, I noticed the thing with the mute. I was muted. Forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah. No, the thing is, the thing is, I'm not perfect by any means. By any means. There's still things that I hear now that I've listened to demos and I'm listening back to this track. I'm like, oh, okay, I can hear that, like the mix of the balancing between, for instance, the snares is a bit. It's pretty like the transient and the punch through of the snare is a bit high compared to the kick, for instance. So I either have to increase the high frequency of the kick, add more transient to increase that, or decrease it for the snare, and I'll probably do the latter. And there's obviously things that I can hear now that can improve. But what I more want to give off with this is you can do so many things with giving variation to breaks, to to filling in every 8 bar. For instance, the last track that I reviewed, the sort of like gated kick track, like I said, the one signature thing I really liked was the sort of like future bass-ish 8 bars, and that's why I try to do in a different way with this sort of I want to say almost Euro wave, because I didn't hear about that until Take It Raads, which I visited, which is really cool, where you have like this sort of bit of a subtle break, like there's not much going on, but I did that on purpose. Might be able to add some things and then make a transition. Transition can be a little bit better, but then transitioning into this sort of like Euro wave-ish tech, almost happy techno kind of thing. And yeah, that's the kind of things you can do to really make your track stand out, because it's obviously you as an artist can have a signature sound, which is all defined by the way you fill in tracks. That's the way. That's what defines you as an artist with a unique sound. It's the way you approach every single track. It's small details like maybe a snare that you layer together, which is now your snare, which I hear with like music from like Andy Savage and Galactics a lot, or specific kind of build-ups or effects kicks like Disturb, for instance. So you really can hear that's his sound, no matter what kind of track they do. You can always hear that's like their sound. And like I mentioned as well with like the kind of drops like this, we have sort of this almost pre-drop-ish kind of kick, where it's not the main focus because you're already building up towards this. And then the last track with like the gated track, which I really liked, had kind of this. It was a little bit longer to make room for the screech, but I want to do this, which can use a bit more high end. I can hear, because the snares and stuff are way more present with high end than the screech. Plus it's missing a little bit of movement, but making space for the screech, so that's something that can potentially have some have some commercial potential. And then adding it and including it into, like, for instance, you'll probably make this drop first, for instance, and then you'll be like, okay, there's like a screech sound, so I'll place it beforehand and I'll give it all the space in the mix to stand out, so people really hear that screech pattern. But yeah, and there's like one key detail that I like to apply every single time, which is my favorite special sauce, and that's the sort of glitch things like that. And those are the kind of things, in my opinion at least, that hopefully sort of separate me from, in terms of sound, which it's probably not going to be only that, but it's something that I feel like no one else is doing. It's not something defining in terms of trends, but it is something that you make yours. It's something that you figured out, something that you found that people have done before, but maybe not in this genre. and that you can apply to your own music. And that's why like listening to other genres is so important as well. Like for instance, you have that here as well. Like really subtle things. You really have to, like, you create tension, but you switch around stuff, you create rhythms, and you want to build music, you want to build build-ups to drops that make people excited. And that's why variation and rhythm is so important. Especially that silence, that's what I like the most, is like that the last notes, and I know Future Noise did that a lot and probably still does that, because the drop is so much more impactful if you do that. Like everything dry, even mono. I remember a track from Atmospheres where like it went from like stereo like to mono, and then the last sound was like completely mono, and then like it opened up, and it's so impactful to do that. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that you can do. I'm sorry that I'm going way too in depth about my own music. It's not to promote my own music. I promise you, it's more to show you guys a bit of a reference for myself as well. But seeing as it's already 11 p.m., I'm probably gonna wrap this up. I'm so sorry to the people who have waited here the entire 3 hours that I didn't check out the demos. I'm so sorry. It was a little bit chaotic, and I didn't really see. I think it would have been easier to spot if everyone's YouTube name was the same as Discord, which some of you have, but that's not your fault. I should have been a little more constructive on that. So yeah, but really appreciate you guys for sending your demos. If you would still like to get your demo reviewed, I hope this is going to be another possibility to do a demo drop stream if On Point Samples is interested in that. I can always listen to them personally. Don't know if I have time to listen to every single demo, but I promise you, if there's a next time that I'm going to do this demo drop through On Point Samples, I promise that I'll make more time to review demos. But as I said, I like to go more in-depth in demos, especially tracks from people that are either like small drafts, so they're not a finished product, or it's from people that are sort of in their first year to third year, and that's especially the people that are at a very important moment where they're still trying to figure things out, and they're really feedback is really open, like you can fill in everything you want. Whereas with people with finished products, it's like, okay, I like it, I tweak this a bit, period, that's it. So that's why. Yeah, again, guys, I'm so sorry that I can check all your demos. For the people who were here from the very start, who haven't had their demos reviewed, you can send them to me. I can't promise that I'll be able to listen to everything, but I'll try to give as much feedback and respond to as many as possible. So, and hopefully, like I said, yeah, hopefully there'll be a next time. But for now, I've been your host in this episode number 6 from On Point Samples